And you guys had just found a derelict capital ship, like extra large capital ship. There was a signal coming from it. Put this over to the frame screen. There was a very faint signature coming from it, which Colleen was able to identify and locate. And you sped through the asteroid field. Well, made your way through the asteroid belt, plate, disc.
Graveyard.
The graveyard. Thank you. It actually is called the graveyard. And found a capital ship with holes that had been eaten into it, the size of which your ship could fit through.
Is an asteroid graveyard the place where old planets go to die?
This is where old planets died.
Actually, yes.
Except these weren't old.
And are the other planets strangely protective about it?
Might
they're
be.
holding their breath.
There is still one planet orbiting this sun.
It was the furthest one out, wasn't it?
No. It was not.
Okay, that's weird.
It's right there somewhere in the middle of the disk. I kind of fast-tracked you so that you could just get to the box and not worry about, hey, there's defenses here, and end last session with a reward in hand. And so now you've got the black box and a hulk of a ship that you can search for pre-tech, and if nothing else, get a whole bunch more scrap from. And that's where we're starting today. You've just gotten back to your ship with the black box.
All right, Colleen. Time to hack. Or at least try to crack into the black box. And we can't just, swap out that one for this one.
You can't.
Completely different ship again.
I know.
I'll have to think about this for a while.
Colleen is correct about that statement. It is really old, and despite surviving, still damaged.
So, oh, brain. So there were no active defenses on the ship?
You did not see any active defenses on the ship. There was no power for any active defenses to be drawing.
Okay. But the black box can basically go on indefinitely. Can our black box interface with it? Are we getting data from it?
Now that you guys are closer, your black box has tried. You can look at the logs. Probably one of the first things Colleen did, and it's unable to interface with it.
It's that old.
It's that old and/or damaged. Same with Nemo, although you can't exactly just go in and look at the logs for his internal black box. You can kind of get a sense, if he looks internally, that a communication attempt was made, and it failed. Mostly I'm putting that detail out there to kind of add to the narrative that black box technology used now is still based on pre-Scream technology.
So it's probably that damaged.
Yeah, it's probably that damaged.
Is it orange, by the way?
This one is not orange.
But it's not black either.
No, this one actually is black.
All right, so let's get to salvaging.
Okay. This, just like last time, is an easy how long do you spend type process.
Mhm. Well,
I think same routine, to be honest.
Okay.
So, like, salvage a couple days, check the ship, rest, get things sorted.
that would
If
definitely-
it's possible to see if, you know, like, let's go for the potential pretext salvage hotspots
that
if we
was-
can identify them.
Yeah, that was going to be something I was thinking of. Now, one question I got is it on the ship character sheet? What the what's our actual physical capacity for scrap?
You got
Shit
400
tons.
tons, I believe. Yeah. You guys have a lot of capacity for scrap, for stuff.
Have they metric shit tons capacity?
They are metric shit tons.
Yes.
Yeah.
400 shit tons.
Or imperial shit tons? They're not quite
Metric.
the same.
But I'm trying to remember what your breakdown of credit value to actual weight was.
10,000 credits is 1 ton.
Okay. Oh, all right. So we've we got 497,000 scrap, and that does not touch 400 tons.
No.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, it does, but you
Right.
still have a lot of space left.
Mhm.
Lot of space. I mean, basically, Cap wants to see first. You know, let's go to the areas where there is a potential
Mhm.
to have pretext salvage. First, prioritize that, and then basically strip out everything that we can.
That sounds great to me. That would definitely be where Dude was. His thought process was going as well, because this seems like a real solid candidate to potentially have work in pre-tech. If not, it's a lot of metal.
And we need a shit ton of credits worth of salvage.
Oh yeah.
Basically, basically at that point, Cap wants to strip the ship of anything that's valuable.
Oh yeah.
I also probably should have started with this. I want to let you guys know that I have completed my tracking spreadsheet, and I am going to start tracking the salvage, the maintenance need differently.
Mm.
It does track on a daily basis, so right now it is January 2nd for you guys. January 2nd, 3251. And I started counting from the date that you did your last maintenance over on Mona. And I'm counting the 300,000 that you've put towards the gun as part of that maintenance. So right now, your ship needs just under 1 million credits worth of maintenance.
Who?
And if that goes up to the 6-month maintenance cost, then that's when the penalties start applying. Your 6-month maintenance is 2,758,000. That will approximate 6 months without maintenance.
Yeah, we're not gonna go. So I think as soon as we get this ship salvage done, we're gonna go to someplace that has a dock
Mm-hmm.
and do some maintenance.
Okay. So, just thought that you'd be happy with that. I think the maintenance was about 15,000 a day.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
But
But
hey.
if dude, well, so here's the thing with all the scrap and stuff that we're getting. If dude takes that, like we do 2 days off day. If dude on that off day does some maintenance, that will still keep us kind of.
Yeah, I do still want there to be a requirement for you to occasionally do the dry dock. I haven't figured out exactly how I'll represent that yet. Since right now it's just a number that you can reduce at any time. Yeah, I'm not sure yet, but I will
I mean,
want.
I do want to put us in a dry dock at some point. You know, there's one out here, I think. Right?
No, the satellite, the station that's orbiting outside the edge of the asteroid plelt disk is not capable of doing dry dock maintenance for any ship.
Okay, but we can refuel there.
You can refuel there.
Yeah, our biggest problem is that any dry dock, I mean, fucking ties us to one spot, and
Yeah,
man, we are really not safe yet.
that's exactly why I want that requirement. I like it.
We don't. I really don't want to have to kill a space station full of people.
Again.
You can't.
Again.
We also
Hey,
can.
I
We also
can't
can.
remember. I can't
Until we
remember
get the
doing that.
cannons.
So
Until we get the cannons functional, you can.
Well, I mean, we have.
Well, we've got a
I
lot of
think we
guns. We could go
could.
person to person, but it's just a much more involved process.
You do have an explosives expert.
Yeah.
um,
There's a reason they call it explosive decompression.
and I will remind you also that Colleen has opened her box and has a new puzzle at hand.
Yeah, that's entertaining. I saw that. That is in no way potentially worrying. Oh wait, everything Colleen does is potentially worrying.
That's part of her character.
So for the greater good.
Crusty jugglers. All right. Well, yes. Dude definitely agrees with Cap that prioritizing a potential of pre-tech salvage is what he was thinking as well. It's the best candidate we got. And while we do have enough scrap to affect the repairs of the cannon and have some left over, he sees no reason why we shouldn't stuff at least a reasonable portion of our cargo bay with scrap, because we are sure as hell gonna need it when we need to get some more repairs done.
Has there been any notable traffic in and out of the system while we've been here at all?
There is not.
So far? Well, that also indicates that there's no risk in staying here longer, since there doesn't seem to be a lot of people who has our idea or the capacity to actually take advantage of it.
That or they're just too afraid to.
Yeah, well,
Worried about those space ghosts.
Considering all of the dead bodies that were floating out in space,
well, and there's whatever is floating around in the system that's eating our ship.
well, it's not eating our ship right now.
No, but it is. Yeah.
It's inert.
Yes, the thing that's out there that ate all the other ships, but isn't eating ours.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an unwelcoming system. I can't imagine. I can imagine people avoiding it.
But Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, but there wasn't any warnings broadcasting to keep to tell people to stay away from the system, was there?
Let me double check here.
I don't think so.
I don't recall seeing that written down.
There is not.
Other systems there is.
Yes, exactly. So stands to reason that if there had been any recent cases of ships vanishing mysteriously here, then there'd probably be some sort of notification to Bermuda Triangle ahead, stay away.
Right. Or a little pop-up satellite that pops up a little ghost silhouette with a sign that says "Beware, spooky space ghosts."
You're about to head into dangerous territory. Are you sure you want to complete this action? In the future, everything is Windows based.
Oh god, that is terrifying.
That's about as silly as having Windows on a spaceship. Wait.
Hey.
Better than Mac OS.
That was a terrible pun.
You're not wrong though.
Better than Mac OS.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Actual Windows on an actual spaceship is a really stupid idea.
Yes, but they all have them for some reason.
Because people like
People want to see out into space.
Yeah.
They make for good dramatic shots.
Yes,
they do. They really do.
I've read one or two sci-fi things where they've explained that the engineers went. Well, not just that, but the engineers were like, we really shouldn't have these things on there, and somebody went, people need to be able to look. There's going to be people on the damn ship. Give them a little bit of psychological. Hey, look. Just deal with it.
Hey, look, eternal darkness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you stick them in a sardine can and give them nothing but computer screens to look at, people tend to get a little weird.
People tend to get a little weird anyway, but
Well,
honestly,
I have to say from personal experience, because my office has no windows, and the only room in the lab that has windows is the sterility room, like where we do sterility testing. Yeah. Being stuck under fluorescent lights all day is really depressing.
I can imagine. Yeah. Also, I mean, it's not like the presence of Windows in the spaceship is any weirder than the fact that almost all sci-fi media always portray, ship-to-ship combat as a dogfight.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, we don't here. Let's go back to the
capital ship looting.
Ship looting. Who's involved in that? Same setup as before. The more people you have with straight up fix one, the faster you can go. But you can get people without fix one to help as long as you have enough with fix one.
I think this, whatever that was really annoying.
Sorry,
sorry, it was loud and sharp. And maybe lose my train of thought.
I think you were going to say, I think this time.
Same setup as before,
okay.
Honestly.
And which project is Colleen working on?
Oh, please. But all she has to think and vanish in her quarters for a while.
Okay.
If we're having a discussion about what we're gonna do, for ripping this ship apart, Dude definitely agrees with Cap that prioritize scrap and ideally areas of pre-tech salvage. He does definitely say that if we don't find, once we've got a good, we're getting scrap system going, once we get a couple of days in, he wouldn't mind taking a day, stopping, and then actually going into the ship on a more granular search for interesting or potentially useful stuff. Not necessarily scrap, but see if there's. I mean, it's a big ship, and there's a lot of areas that might not even have been exposed to open space. Might find some good stuff in there. Go like room to room and see if we can find any personal effects, or notes, or logs, or anything.
Anything interesting.
Mike,
Yes.
how difficult is it actually considering the conditions of the ship and the ships in general? How difficult is it to identify actual potential pre-tech salvage over just scrap?
I think we know.
It's actually made even more difficult because it is a pre-tech ship. So the pre-tech salvage stands out less. Like when you see a modern scope duct taped or even glued to a bolt action rifle, you know, hey, that's modern technology on a less technologically advanced weapon. That's what a lot of the pre-tech you get is. But here,
here
looks like
it's
the environment.
technically all of it, everything we're getting is pre-tech. It's just that the vast majority of it doesn't work.
Well, it's just that the vast majority of it doesn't do anything special. Pre-tech salvage is a label applied to pre-tech materials that can function and do something special that modern stuff just can't replicate.
Right.
So, yeah, here it's going to blend in a lot more. It will be more difficult to find.
Okay.
So that's my assumption as well, is that we're going to just find lots and lots of old, cool metal. But odds, I feel good about odds of finding interesting, not necessarily scrap, but interesting stuff. Space is known to have an incredible preservation property, and as long as whatever is out there went inert quick enough before it got completely throughout the whole ship, there might be stuff that's interesting and old and working.
Dozens upon dozens of cans of spam.
Hooray, you guys are restocked!
Vintage spam.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Aged by space. We could start selling it. If we...
Aged to perfection over 1,000 years.
I think spam would last 1,000 years.
I think it would.
Well, they found honey in Egyptian tombs that is technically still edible. It's possible with certain food.
They did. Then they were actually able to reproduce that ancient beer recipe from what they found in some of those tubs in the Greek shipwreck. Mike, please don't give us ancient spam.
I'll think about it.
But I think it's not a bad idea to just go and let's get our scrap and see if we can get pre-tech salvage first. But
Sounds like a
Yeah, I
plan
mean,
to
if
me.
there's anything else there that is of use, yeah, we should take it.
I'm gonna pause you guys real quick to shift the scene over to Colleen.
She's about to blow up the ship with space energy.
As you can see, there have been a couple of rolls made. I
Uh-huh.
don't want to deprive Colleen of the spotlight here.
I do.
Fine. Don't mind.
No, I know you don't,
Nobody can see this anyway.
but for the sake of good drama, Colleen, as she is sitting there, safe and keeping everything potentially dangerous out of ship systems and completely isolated from it, she starts trying what she knows of hacking, which is considerable, as evidenced by the roll there, getting the highest result possible. And
Not quite.
well, the highest difficulty that is listed on the chart. I'm getting a little bit of echo on myself. Yeah, I think it.
Yeah, I'm getting that too.
Yeah.
Is it from me?
It is. Sorry.
What the flippity flip flip?
I don't know. It appears to have stopped though.
Let me go to my user settings.
Okay. Yeah, it's back. I'll continue while you're looking at that. Remember how I mentioned early on that there may be some things that are simply unhackable?
Yes.
Hey, you found one! Hooray!
Is that any better?
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not doing anything right now.
We'll see if it continues and let you know. This little drive, the individual file contents are encrypted. They are not hackable, and you will have to obtain the encryption key for them.
Okay.
That, or of course, Pretech can solve a lot of things. If you get some kind of quantum decryption computer, that might work. But for now, with the resources that you have, the files are inaccessible without a key. Somebody did a good job.
Yeah, someone is going to beat her real self up if they ever encounter each other. It's going to be high and then a sucker punch to the gut.
All right.
You
And
probably have access to enough tech to do a quick and dirty VR simulation you could drop into when a version of yourself standing there that looks up, goes, "Hi!" Wham!
No, it has to be the real thing.
Well, don't go beating yourself up yet.
Punch a mirror?
Also not the same thing.
That tends not to work out well for people.
Yeah, it really does not work out. All right, and with that little aside, let's go back to the salvage crew as they prepare to either take the shuttle or take the ship into the ship.
Colleen
I see
gets
nothing wrong with taking the ship into the ship.
It would definitely make loading scrap into the actual ship a hell of a lot easier.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, and your ship is designed in such a way that maneuverability was a primary consideration, as opposed to, oh yeah, we might need to turn around in space.
So we've got a.
You are breaking up there, Matt.
I said so. We're driving a shark, not a whale.
Yes. Yeah.
And sharks can pretty much turn on a dime.
Oh yeah. As many people learn right before, well, they stop learning anything.
But unlike sharks, our ship can stand still.
Yes.
But it can't look up. So while we're sort of putting the bit of crew together and whatnot, Colleen gets a little audio beep on her pad.
What?
Uh, all right. Well, kid, I hope you're doing all right. But I was kind of hoping to get your help on something. You doing okay?
Alright. Yes. I'm annoyed. What's going on?
Okay. Well, we're about to start making our tear stuff apart and break up bits of metal and whatnot to steal it off of this old ship that we're looking at. And well, I was hoping for some of your expertise to maybe look at some of the sensor logs and see if you can give us a couple of candidate spots to potentially get some pre-tech. Because I can certainly rip it out, but I don't have your skills on the computer to be able to find it. I mean, I'll know it when I see it, and if I run across some, well, we're all set. Think you can give us a hand?
I can try. I'm not sure what good the sensors will be, especially if most of that stuff being inactive.
I got you. I kind of figured, but might as well take a. No reason not to at least check over, and and if you can pull up a decent schematic of what we've got mapped out of that ship, if you got any ideas where you think stuff might be, certainly add it to the list. Any idea is a good idea at this point.
Start with the bridge.
Well, that was a given. I appreciate that, though.
Have you tried looking in the engine room?
Well, again, it's going to be on the list. We haven't gotten in there yet. We're about to leave. Speaking of which, I mean, I'd like to have you on the sensors, but do you want to come?
Yeah, it might be better if I come over.
Spooky spaceship. Might be fun.
I'll bring my drone. That might be best anyway.
All right.
Close-up scan will be more useful.
Not the one with the. Well, you gonna bring the one with the gun on it, or is she gonna stay home?
Didn't you just say something about spooky?
I was kind of kidding, but
It also has better range.
fair enough. You know your drones better than I do, even though I built one of them for you, but
Yeah, I'll be along in a minute. Just give me a minute.
All right. Dude cuts the comm link and kind of looks around at the other people that he's prepping to head into the ship. Well, we'll get Colleen along with. She can definitely help us out. The drone will certainly be useful. Is Cap coming along?
Yep.
Okay. Dude looks
Cap is muscle.
That's right.
Yep.
Dude kind of turns to Cap. She's getting a little. She's definitely getting a little less talkative about the stuff she's getting into.
You don't say.
Well, I don't know that she's confiding in me that much. Have you tried talking to her?
Not lately.
I mean, I know she kind of gets on your one nerve occasionally.
And does a jig.
Yeah, she has a distinct talent for that. But she's not opening up to me right now. Maybe you'll get something out of her. I don't know. I just worry.
I will try. I don't ca- I like the kid. I feel responsible for her, and I think that's why it bothers me sometimes when she doesn't seem to care about her own safety.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what worries me.
I'll try to get a chance to talk to her while we're out and about doing things.
Well, you know I appreciate it. It's hard enough to keep this tub going without having to worry about anything else. I mean, hell,
Well, I worry about all of you.
Yeah. And I'm damn glad for it, because I'd have probably gotten us all killed long ago if I'd stuck my butt in that captain's seat. Either that or found a little planet with a nice rotational uh, arc and plenty of sun, some sand, and a small ocean, and probably still be sitting there eating
Praying
whatever
that no one comes for us.
Well, yeah.
Not that we're not doing that anyway.
Jump in the ocean, eat whatever the local equivalent of a coconut is every now and then. Chill out.
That sounds really nice.
It's a reoccurring dream.
Someday.
Yeah,
At least as long as you don't mind sharing.
yeah, no. Company's always nice. I think I'm not sure, but I think whoever I was before might have also known how to surf. I've had some weird dreams about that, but I don't know if that's just me projecting or not. Certainly wouldn't mind
Don't
trying.
know.
Could be fun.
Could be. Alright. Let's get this salvage operation underway, and I'll try to talk to the kid.
All right. Colleen gets a little text message beep on her pad, says, "Just waiting on you, kid. Whenever you get a chance."
So, while they were all doing that, Colleen was just putting on functional clothes for Vacant. The points at the drive goes, "This is not over, you little shit."
Now, don't anthropomorphize your antagonistic puzzle piece.
That's what she does. And she has a little drone follow her, and then she meets the rest of them.
Okay. She is using the Avoid Hawk.
Nope, she's using Siri.
I don't think other drones can function in space.
Ooh, yeah, because Siri open
They
it
can.
vacuum.
Where did you see that? Because couldn't find it.
They're all a hovered drone. It's just the Voidhawk is the specific one for extended space operations. Give me a second. Well, the only thing there's that Voidhawks are specifically for
Yeah.
basically they can operate perfectly well.
Well, it it says that,
Everything
and
else is still hover.
in other
and grass flying.
places in the book where it has pointed something like that out, it has meant that other things can't do that. I think other drones can't function in space.
Well, if it doesn't work, then she wouldn't bring the drone. But sure, that works.
Yep. Sorry. Yeah, I think there's a lot of assumption in a lot of the book. For instance, it doesn't say that a helicopter can't function in space either. But I'm pretty sure that doesn't work. So is she bringing one of the explosively equipped Voidhawks?
No, because that would make zero sense.
Okay.
Because all they have are explosives.
Mm-hmm. Alright. That makes 7 of you going out to work on this ship. It'll be a little bit of a tight fit in the shuttle, but you'll be able to fit.
Do we hear piped in over the speakers a quiet little hi ho, hi ho?
No, you do not. You hear creepy space music piped in over the speakers.
Damn it, Colleen.
Besides, I don't think that song is public domain, so we couldn't do that here.
Probably right. Okay. Well, there is no role for the salvaging. For any efforts you're making to find pre-tech, like I said, it will be heavily disguised among the the salvage. And so
We will need a roll.
yeah, you'll need a roll. Let's start with describing the ship as the crew, the dedicated salvage crew, makes its way throughout the week. And then we'll let you kind of backtrack and pick up RP at any point, and I'll let you roll a little bit later for if you find any pre-tech salvage. One of the most, possibly one of the most memorable scenes is an extremely large, looks like it was a living area, but not just for living. Actually, it would be easiest just to describe it as this was an Exodus ship. And a large amount of ship space was dedicated to carrying people in very small confined spaces. The technology is that they were put into stasis. Or the technology that you're seeing suggests that they were put into stasis. But when everything started breaking down, you guys are seeing unsuited bodies, quite possibly upwards of 1 million.
Oh,
Jesus.
Yeah, I'll look at my notes and see if I was more specific than that.
yeah, that's gonna be unpleasant.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on real quick. Yeah, there it is. Excuse me. Multiple millions.
That's a big ship.
It is a big ship, yes. And Exodus pods or Exodus bays are designed to put a lot of people into very small space, and a very lot of space was dedicated to this. So you're at least halfway to 1 billion.
Jesus.
Now you don't necessarily see that many bodies just kind of floating around, but you do see that the technology has all stopped working. So everything that was in those stasis pods, even if something got in, or even if nothing got into them to kill them while they were still, within their normal lifespan, uh, with the stasis pods ceasing to function, everything here is dead.
Everybody's dead, Dave.
As you are walking through the hallways or floating through the hallways, you do see what looked like command staff or staff of some sort that were wearing vac suits at the time, having the opportunity to more closely inspect them. You technically have had this opportunity throughout the week with other ships, but I'll justify that by saying, because I forgot to mention people, that people just kind of floated off into space. This is a much more enclosed ship. And you see some of the same kind of degradation on their vac suits as you see on the ship's hull.
Okay.
More internally, where it looks like the structure did hold and did not give in to the decompression, although the ship is bowed and warped by trying to decompress. Single compartments don't hold too well when everything else is done. They also have people in them who are not affected by whatever deteriorated by this space dust out there. And they look like they just kind of life supported to death. When all the systems failed and the life support went down, the last few minutes they had was whatever their vac suits would give them.
Oof. Rough.
Well, Is it weird that it's at least a little bit of consolation that whatever happened here happened a really long time ago?
Still sucks.
Yeah. It's almost feel like floating through history, not.
Did we get any precise indications of how old it actually is? Sort of in rough ballpark.
Yeah, with this ship having a more, well, more structural integrity in portions of it, although there is no pressure in any section anymore. It still has. It's not. It didn't explosively decompress, and so you can get this ship is at least 600 years old. That much you already knew. The ship itself is probably closer to 650 or 700 years old.
Hmm.
In fact, since you're asking that, someone, Nemo, I'll say, since you're inquiring, give me a fix roll.
Okay. Fix int.
Fix it, yes.
There you go.
That'll do. This is an easier comparison to make now that you actually have, well, things that are in reasonably good condition to make the comparison. The point of reference that Nemo is able to make is that the Exodus pods appear to be about 650-ish years old, and they appear to have been built in tandem with a ship. Now that seems like an obvious thing. You don't build a huge ass ship like this and dedicate a lot of space towards a single function without intending it to be. But that's the point that's being made: is this ship was purpose built as an Exodus ship, and through some indications, I can't actually personally fathom how, but through some indication that Nemo finds, it looks like the ship was launched very shortly after its construction was completed.
So they knew something was going to happen, and they tried to build the
Get
ship
away.
in GTFO.
But considering that they didn't get further out of the system than this,
Yeah, it would be a very strange coincidence if they spent, well, anywhere from 2 to 5 to 10 years building a ship like this, because it would take a long time. And then the span of 2 or 3 days that it takes them to get out of the system, something happens.
and then presumably spent at least several months loading 500 million people into it,
Mm-hmm.
and then is it within the span of a couple of days of getting from the planet to here, whatever happened happened.
Yeah, that would be a strange coincidence.
It's never fun when the DM says that.
Well, I say it like that because it is literally the kind of coincidence that I hate in movies, which makes me dislike comic book movies so much.
Strange coincidences in space.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'll also say, just for context, because none of us are actual space jockeys, a ship like this would not be built on the ground. It would
Yeah, it'd
be
be built in space.
Yeah,
Obviously.
yeah. It was built completely in space.
Which really just adds further logistic issues to loading 500 million people on board of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does.
Also, 500 million people, that must be a lot of cans of spam.
The Exodus pod thing kind of self-sustains. You still only need enough food to feed the active crew.
There isn't a dispenser where you load in the spam can.
No nutrient paste dispenser.
So, question:
Mm-hmm.
do those pods contain pre-tech salvage?
You can certainly search them for it.
Also, chances are half the pods are labeled emergency rations.
I was gonna say, it's a good thing we're not cannibals. We just found a gigantic food supply. Aged meat.
600-year-old frozen meat.
Mhm.
I'm sure we can rig a spam cannery.
That's probably some serious freezer burn.
We
How would
certainly
it
have
harvest
plenty
spam?
of extra.
If you want to dismantle the pods and, well, either empty or not empty their contents, you can take them as part of your scrap, and there may be pre-tech salvage among them.
Do we actually have, I forgot if I asked about this before, but do we actually have access to any historical information about Shakul and what happened here?
Nope.
You do not.
There is just none available. It's just labeled a
Cap has a
big
theory.
question. It's just labeled a big question mark
Um,
in all available data.
I'll go back to my system document here. Alright.
Well, seems that the people who might have known had a drastic case of death.
It does tend to shut people up.
The only thing that is known or included in any database about Shakul is ochre at night, gray by day. Shakul appears to be the only survivor of some great planet-destroying catastrophe that rocked the system long, long ago.
Like I said, Cap has a theory.
Yeah, but 650 years isn't that long ago on a historical scale.
Yeah, but you've got to throw the scream in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you still
And
assume
the scream destroyed a lot.
still assume there'd be some theory, at least some investigation and theory about it, about what happened here. I mean,
Nothing in the data that you've got access to. So do you want to take the pods?
We need everything we can get.
Are you going to empty the contents?
Yes.
Where are you going to empty the contents?
Well, it sounded like some of them were empty.
No, they're not empty themselves. I think I may have misrepresented that. Some of them got broken down by the deterioration that you see elsewhere. Others just failed because all the power going to them failed.
Ah,
But they still have people in them.
well, they're not people anymore.
Okay, they still have corpses in them.
Time for some looting.
They are not equipped in vac suits, so they're just space mummies staring out at you.
Some of them might have gold teeth.
No.
They might have pockets.
Yeah, this just
I'm
keeps getting
kind-
more and more pleasant.
I don't know,
It wouldn't
Cat-
bother Nemo to search one of them.
I was gonna say, you have a psychopath, essentially, in RimWorld terms.
The android.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Cap would kind of consult the others. How do we feel about this? Breaking those down.
Nope.
Okay.
All right, well, kid.
Note from the kid.
Well, kid, are you noping that you don't want to touch it, or are you noping that you don't want it to happen?
Either?
All right, noted.
Kind of feels disrespectful to the dead, but not that we're not, looting their ship anyway.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, Cap, I'm kind of a humanist. At this point, they're just dead meat. I mean, I feel bad for everybody that's gone, and it's certainly creepy as hell. But whatever happened before any of our great grandparents were even thinking about doing anything. I mean,
Assuming
it's
I
weird.
have those.
Well,
I certainly don't see any logical reason for why we should leave resources unattended. If we are here to salvage, then let us salvage.
that's Nemo. That's why we're having the discussion, because it ain't like.
Yeah, there are degrees of salvaging that are fine. Taking things from the ship, perfectly fine.
Looting tombs?
Identifying the bodies, no.
Well, kid, we're not going to defile the bodies. We're just going to take them out of the thing that's not doing them any good anyway.
That feels like very much disturbing there. Well, for the rest, as crappy as it is, that's the way it is, but
It's highly unlikely that whatever culture these people originated from wouldn't consider it an ideal burial to be left here in anyway.
And who knows? There might be some part of some sort of culture that has a open air religious burial, and their bodies being stuck in these little caskets is holding their souls out from being drifting off to whatever their potential eternal reward is. We might be doing them a favor.
There's no air outside of the casket either.
Yeah. You don't have to participate, kid.
I love moral
Wrong.
conundrums.
I'm so sorry, Emma.
It's not entirely sarcastic, by the way. It's a little sarcastic, but it is not entirely sarcastic.
I'm only sorry because they've been so frequent, and this one is, I think, getting
Really
a little bit
bad.
stronger. Yeah. Otherwise, I love them too.
I mean,
They're great RP.
bringing the pods aboard with their previous occupants still in them would pose issues, but emptying them here.
Yeah. And that's my
There
thought.
are already numerous. There are already thousands of bodies floating in this system. If these are floating inside sealed caskets or floating without them, does that make a substantial moral difference?
yes.
How so? These pods can't possibly be intended to be funeral caskets.
It's nothing to do with the intentions. They're not sending you out there to ruffle through the pockets of everyone floating in space either.
Well, we're not going to rifle through their pockets. We'd be basically taking them out of the pods, scrapping the pods, and leaving the people here in the ship.
Yeah, no, it's just like discarding the trash.
We can put them to rest somewhere contained.
I don't know. So it just feels like, no matter what argument you have, it feels like it's making it worse. Like it's bad enough what happened to all of them already. Just feels like making it worse.
We could jettison them
Even after all this time.
on a course towards the sun.
And the point of that being,
That many cultures consider cremation to be a perfectly suitable form of burial.
I guess you could just kick them into the frickin' atmosphere of the planet.
Or that.
No. It just feels like making it worse. I'm sorry. It's like, is that bad enough what happened to them already? Just disturbing them further. That's just what it feels like.
I get you,
Just-
kid.
Wrong.
Are there any of these pods that have had whatever that that don't have contents that are functional or at least intact enough to investigate for the potential for pretext salvage, so we can establish whether or not this is a giant waste of time without having to disturb a body?
The pods that appear to have not been occupied make up a small percentage of the pods.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but if we take apart a few of them just to see what they have, just like Dude said, to see if there is the potential for them to have what we're looking for. If not, then we
Okay.
the discussion we'll salvage the ones that are empty and we'll leave the rest.
Okay. Yeah.
Also-
No, I
also-
misunderstood the
look,
question. Sorry.
Also, logistically, I mean, there are 500 million of them, so salvaging them all would take years. Decades, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
You
But
can go.
I mean, if it's a small percentage, then we can at least get a decent amount of scrap from them.
You can take apart one of those that did not appear to have been filled and was not activated. Spend a little bit of time doing that. Who is involved in that process?
Would Colleen be comfortable with that? It's not occupied.
Yeah, in that case, she's fine with it. She doesn't mind analyzing the things. It's just plundering this little tomb. That's the problem.
Okay.
But in regards to the pots. But yeah, she doesn't mind analyzing shit.
Okay.
Technically, absolutely colossal tomb.
It's an absolutely colossal tomb. It is.
Not when you compare to space.
Well, that's true.
But compared to any tomb that's ever existed in any civilization anywhere in the world.
So let's go ahead and get a fixed roll from someone. Is anybody assisting?
I would say Colleen and Dude are the people for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's making
I'll
that
roll.
primary roll?
I'll do it. It sounds like Colleen would be an assist on that.
Okay. Colleen is assisting. Nemo, are you going to assist?
Would it help?
It could.
Do you have fix?
+0.
And I mean, it's any skill that you can rationalize in helping Dude will be rolling fix.
But, I have it at +0. So.
Well, if you have any other skills that you think would be applicable other than fix, is what Mike is saying.
Not
And
really.
you can.
I don't think he needs a pep talk while doing it. So no, not really.
Probably not.
Well, you never know. He might be feeling a little down that day. Although
Okay.
I don't know that Nemo would be the character that would necessarily be the best at producing said pep talk.
No,
Oh,
most
maybe
likely
not.
it would be Cap.
Oh, he can fake it.
He is very good at that.
Yeah.
Okay, so is Nemo assisting? Let's go
sure.
ahead and get that roll from Colleen here. And since Nemo is, go ahead and roll also.
Vacant.
Alright. Fix.
Go ahead and roll. Yep.
So, what, a +1? +2?
No, that actually gave you a +2.
Awesome.
You're able to quickly locate one of these Exodus pods that's not been. It doesn't have anybody entombed in it, hasn't been activated, and start pulling it out. Start looking around in internal components. You're not seeing anything that would look like. Huh. I thought you'd already rolled.
No, I figured you were setting the scene, and I was gonna, roll at the point where you said, okay, now what's your roll?
Oh, yeah, no, sorry, I just kind of just jumped right onto it. You're not seeing anything in the pod itself that would qualify as pre-tech. You're seeing plenty of tech, and pretty good tech. It will make good scrap, but it doesn't do anything that you guys haven't, you guys as humanity haven't figured out how to do through other means.
Okay.
What you are seeing is there may be something buried deep within the Exodus Bay as a whole, some kind of master controller chip that is somehow connecting all of these. It would be
Right.
incredibly difficult to link all of the functions of this many bays over several computers, although that's what would be done in modern times. It seems very likely, based on the outputs and how things appear to be wired up, that there's just one, maybe two master control chips that are running this entire bay.
Can we track those down?
You certainly can try.
I'm assuming that like everybody, like the people who are working this, are telling Cap.
Yes, obviously.
I'm making
Also,
that assumption. So.
I really hope that they had backup systems for that. If they had a single computer system, being responsible for 500 million people's lives.
One would hope so, yes.
That's not something you should be able to switch off with the flip of the wrong switch. Oops.
Who turned it off and then on again? You don't do that with the Exodus Bay.
We turned it to an Exodus Bay.
Yeah, you can try and track that down. Before I start throwing things out, do the players or characters have ideas on how they want to track down those controlling computer or computers?
Well,
It's not actually broadcasting anymore, is it? I mean, there aren't any broadcast signals for Nemo to pick up at all.
Nope, there is no power going to any of this.
right. We inferred it from its existence from evidence in the pod.
Yeah, Colleen would just try to follow the circuitry.
Well, dudes, so these pods, I'm assuming, were sort of docked into along the walls and all that kind of stuff. Control points, what they would link in with the rest of the system.
Very, very much like a. Is it a crypt? I think it's a crypt. I think they're using the right word. That has the recesses in which bodies are placed. Yeah.
Cool.
Except these are placed feet first to, make more room.
Right. Well, based on what we saw from tearing a boat that pod. Dude would want to get down to one of the interface sockets, see if he can find the lead end for where the control interface would have been connecting with the pod. And would actually want to hook up his meta tool and run really light electricity, basically run a really light charge back down that. Not enough that if it actually got to it, it would do any kind of damage, especially to pre-tech, but that it might
enough to trace,
either to make Colleen's trace a little easier or just trace it himself.
Well, it would make it easier because if he does it, there will be a temperature change, and Colleen can track that.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good way to go about this.
Okay.
That's how you fix cell phones.
Okay. That is either fix. Actually, I think that's pretty much entirely fix.
I figured it'd be fixed for me, so yeah.
Yep, would be fixed on my end too. Because this is not programming or
wanna
anything active, that's purely mechanical.
Colleen could assist with program if you want, basically in doing the scans and reading the data.
I mean, it makes no functional difference to me. I feel this is more like hands-on.
Okay.
Alright, well, I'll roll dude. No modifier.
Just as an interesting side note, these pods, by my rough calculations, take up 443 billion liters of volume.
Jesus Christ.
That's a lot.
However, that roll is not a lot. Not terrible. That's a much better roll.
Yes, but was Colleen assisting or?
Yes.
Okay. It's still...
Actually, I saw it more as us doing two separate things that just work together instead of her assisting.
Not really. You both described the same thing.
Well, we're coming at it from different ends. I actually almost thought of dude as more of the assist than anything else. All he's really doing is finding the right circuit junctions and feeding power through. It's Colleen that's actually really running the scan there.
Well, running a scan is programmed, though.
A AAA battery.
Well,
actually, it was less scanning and more, as I said, she's tracing the current because with electricity in there, in the cold, you see how it heats up and you can follow that. So it's less scanning and more measuring and opening panels to see where the hell is it going.
Okay. That still would have been assist because you're essentially still both trying to achieve the same purpose. So one would be an assist of the other. I'm not too perplexed about it because both roles succeed in telling you that you can do this easily just by running a what is it? Type A power cell through it. The small one. So if you're willing to run a Type A power cell through it,
yes,
probably discharge it. Basically, expend your power cell, and spend a little bit of time.
We have several Type A's, so
you certainly do.
It's definitely worth it.
Spend a little time retrieving that from the ship if you guys didn't already have one with you for whatever reasons.
Colleen does.
Okay.
Isn't that what her drones use?
Yes.
Yeah,
Plug it
several
in,
things.
use the meta tool to direct the current properly. The meta tool just wasn't providing enough, unfortunately. And you've got a clear trace to some computing components deep within the Exodus Bay. They're not exactly where you would have expected, so it's not like, oh, we could have just walked into the center of the thing. You did need to take some effort to get to them. You'll still need to take more effort to get to them.
That sounds like it.
Either exploring the ship, getting to a different area where they're at, or drilling your way through. Or finding a path that's already been deteriorated. The choice on that is purely RP. There's no further role to get there. It's just how do you guys want to get there?
Yeah. Well, Dude'll turn to Cap. Well, we got a definite idea where it is in there. How much of a priority do we want to make this? Do we want to keep on with the regular ripping bits of metal out? And
I
at
think
some
we have a
point-
pretty good idea that we can find something useful. So let's make make it a priority getting there. If nothing else, the computer room should have useful salvage.
Oh yeah.
So
And by the way, as you guys are going along, in my image of this, the people that are marked as primary on the salvaging, Dude, Chishin, and Colleen, are also pointing at things and saying, take that apart, remove that, and the people that you've got secondary are under someone's supervision, probably Chishin, since Dude and Colleen are so active, taking it apart and getting it back to ship. So you guys are actively salvaging as you go along.
Cool. Yeah, well, in this area is as good as any for pulling standard salvage out as well, without disturbing the bodies.
Oh, right. Those teams, Chishin took the muscle to another section while you guys were fiddling with this.
So we could certainly bring them in here. Combination running salvage and digging a hole into the where we think that component might be. Sounds like a nice combination of labor. As long as they don't mind working around a lot of dead bodies. There's just dead bodies fucking everywhere around here.
Well, they're probably helpful. I can see them putting a tool into the hand of one of those bodies for a moment, grabbing the other tool, and then getting the tool back out of that hand.
Now, do you think at some point someone might go, "Thanks for holding that," without even thinking?
Probably.
the other thing, if we find any vac suits that are, not deteriorated, not occupied, we're taking them.
Okay.
Have we actually found any indications on the ship so far of where it specifically came from? I mean, where it was built.
We
where
have
it
a
was
good
launched from?
idea.
Where the
I
ship
was-
came from?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same design as all the other ships in the graveyard.
Yep.
That's. I don't know if
And
that actually answers the
basically-
question.
Basically, from what I gathered, all of the debris, all of the asteroid, is from planets that went boom.
I'm almost more curious as to where this ship was going.
Well, out of the system, obviously, but
Well, yeah.
By now, you've seen various what is it? Badges, labels, the ship's name in points. It is the Fair Tinirriw.
Sounds kind of Welsh.
It looks kind of well.
Not quite enough W's.
And too many
I
vowels.
said kind of.
Maybe a combination between Celtic and Welsh.
Yeah.
But
So
is there
Celtic?
any information? Celtic. Is there any? Is there any information available about that name in any database that we have access to?
No. There is not. Okay. So it sounds like you guys are going forward with the dig your way to the computer lab choice.
That's dude's suggestion, if nothing else, but he's certainly open to other.
I don't know how wise that is, but I also don't necessarily see anything wrong with it.
Well, like I said, the alternatives are either find your way there through the proper blueprint of the ship, or through places that have already been deteriorated and dug through by the space virus, the space dust.
Space dust.
One dude's suggestion will take a lot more effort, but has a potential of being a lot quicker. The other two are a lot easier, but depending blueprint. That's the word I'm looking for. Depending on how the ship is laid out, it's a big ship. You could be walking for a long time.
Yeah, and we can, get salvage as we're going through.
I was also going to say
taking it
that
apart.
with that that power cell hooked up, you don't have to go there immediately. You're pretty certain that that line will just persist for as long as you need it to. You're not getting any kind of signs or indications that you've damaged anything by running this power.
Because it's a tiny, in the grand scheme of things, probably a tiny amount of power compared to
Oh yeah.
what went through it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we kind of want to explore the ship anyway. So, I don't want to just dig through the hull. You know what? We'll dig through the hull. It is going to be the more direct route.
It is a more direct route.
And we'll get. I am making the assumption that we will get some salvage.
Yeah.
As we go through.
Practically every part of the ship, except for what's been deteriorated, is salvageable. So digging through, you're going to be pulling up wires and just sheets of metal and various components that will all go in the salvage pile.
Okay. All right.
Okay, the torches come out and you guys start burning your way directly to what appears to be the computer room, or whatever
Carefully.
is controlling this. Carefully. And
it is being done carefully and meticulously.
Yeah, it is indeed.
Because we don't want to accidentally damage that which we are trying to get to.
No. And It doesn't take you very long. You get through. There's salvage being collected as you go, and your makeshift tunnel opens up into it is just a computer control room. Looks like it's dedicated to this. It's not a ship-wide computer control room. There are enough monitors here that it looks like it was probably also a data center.
We totally steal all the monitors. I want more monitors. I want like 12 monitors.
And the security measures, or not security measures, but the security features on the door and the presence of security posts, looks like this was an access controlled room as well.
Well, it should be.
It's easy
You've
to
got
trace.
massive life support systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. It's easy enough to trace the power coming from your cell upstairs, probably a couple stairs, to a couple of server-like objects. And those are your targets.
Please tell me they look exactly like Hal.
They don't look exactly like hell.
Aww.
You start opening them up and digging in.
Might as well.
Carefully.
Yes, carefully.
Okay. Once again, the usual conversation of who's rolling the primary, who's rolling the assists.
Cap's there for muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that would be an exert.
Motivation.
That would be a lead.
Once again, not exert as well, cracking the whip.
I actually would.
How would that work in synergy?
Very
you crack 'em?
carefully.
I never thought about that.
I'm pretty sure a whip would be a useless weapon in those circumstances.
Huh.
It would be
it
really,
would just look
really
weird.
difficult to control. I'd actually prefer. Out of character, I'd prefer Colleen to be the primary on it. In character, these are computers. Dude knows fixing lots of shit, but when it comes down to the nitty gritty of computers, he's going to tend to defer to Colleen.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Dude is the hands, this requires the brain of the operation.
So, Dude is definitely aiming to be the assist for Colleen for getting these things open.
Okay, dude's assisting. Is anyone assisting Colleen? Or anyone else, I think I should say. Not sure if I got that else in there.
No, you didn't.
Okay,
Sounds
is
like-
anyone else assisting Colleen?
Can Cap motivate?
Are you
Now,
muted, Emma?
Colleen, I know
Nobody's
this
qualified.
is. Now I know this is old stuff, but you can do this.
Of
You
course
can
I
do it.
can.
No, I Cap could motivate. I'm not sure she wouldn't be more of a distraction than a help.
Oh, well, that usually comes
Can
down
she fetch some
to
coffee?
the roll. There's other ways of using lead to help than simply you can do it.
I know. I mean, like directing, kind of. Okay, this is what we're gonna take apart.
And I kind of
Um,
see.
I'm having a brain fart. I'm sorry.
I'm sure Colleen is fine with just dude.
Well, I can kind of see Cap directing. It's not just going to be me and Dude and Colleen. The others would probably be there, and like Cap says, "All right, get that out of their way. Let's get this moved off to the side while they're doing that kind of stuff." I can see Cap running interference for us so that we've got clean space to work with.
And keep in mind,
Yeah.
I'm also perfectly okay with just the roll by presence in some situations.
Cap's there making things run smoothly, or at least trying to make things run smoothly.
As much as that can happen with Dude and Colleen.
All right, let's go ahead and get some rolls from Cap and Dude.
Lead charisma.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I could have rolled better.
You could have rolled better. Dude.
you could very have easily rolled better.
You know the dice hate me.
That is the third 11 I've rolled in a row now.
All right, and Colleen, go ahead and roll. I'm not going to tell you what modifiers you have.
Because you're mean. Oh.
I am mean.
No, don't worry about it. I'm better than that.
Are you now?
Colleen
Yes.
is always better than that. So
Yes, she is. Okay. You were right about this being too much work for a single computer to really process. I mean, that's obvious by the fact that there are two things that you're taking apart. You are able to suss out where it seems like the data would be going. It's a little bit more difficult for Colleen because the power is going to the power pack for dispersal throughout the computer, and it's not being dispersed because it's not on. But she's able to, in doing her analysis, find a couple of chip components that she thinks are probably more useful, set them aside for more careful return, and then of course just take both of these entire things as part of your whole scrap haul. You've gained, for your note reference, 2 pre-tech with functions of data processing.
data processing, you say?
Data processing. Mass data processing. Really, any kind of computing processing. These are super processors, essentially.
Yes. Yes.
Super processor.
And it's been kind of a exertful day. You guys could push on as usual, or you can return to the ship, rest up, and return the next day.
We'll pick up our power cell on the way back.
It's depleted, but you can restore it.
I was gonna say, takes half an hour to recharge.
Yeah.
No reason to leave it.
Yep. No reason to be wasteful.
Right, Colleen has a power cell back.
Yeah, I mean, dude's all for. We're still not. Excuse me. Being rested and being clear-minded and clear-eyed for going at all this stuff is definitely dude's standing recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
And has nothing to do with him having inbuilt potentially lazy tendencies. He's totally just thinking of everybody else.
Are any of the crew getting up to anything before just bedding down for the night?
No.
Nima?
Well, actually, Cap
Oh.
will want to talk to Colleen
Okay.
at some point.
All right. You take the scrap to your shuttle. You take the shuttle to your ship. The ship is still inside the ship, and look at that. You got a
Hey, we're
ship and a
kind of
ship and a
hidden
ship.
that way.
You're a Russian stacking ship.
It's okay. Colleen is in the workshop mapping out the circuits of those chips.
She's easy to find.
Cap will kind of sit down next to her and just be like, oh God, Cap's kind of bad at this a little bit, and I don't think it's really Cap. I think it's me because this is like this kind of junk is the stuff that I hated about being a supervisor. Okay.
Cap can always delegate.
No, I think it's Colleen. This is something Cap has to do. This is like if it was one of the other crew, like Chi-Shen, yeah, she'd probably delegate because Chi-Shen hates her. I'm fairly sure. No, this is one of the core crew, and
Because hey, she could send Eileen.
no. Cap will sit down next to Colleen and say, hey, just been kind of worried about you since we left SOS. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Busy.
Well, you don't necessarily seem okay. You seem a little out of sorts, so I do worry about you.
That's appreciated.
Is there anything on your mind you want to talk about? I mean, I'm here to listen, not just to some people, but to you. All of the crew.
Well,
Yeah. This is the me being bad at these conversations.
I didn't say anything, but I will mute my microphone.
Man, what's
Cap says it better than I do.
Getting the echo again.
I think that's Nick might have had his push to talk.
Yeah, it's our pickup. It seems to be pretty high.
I actually adjusted it. So it wouldn't be.
Well, seems to be a bit better. Well,
Oh,
what's not too late? We're out here. Still don't have really anywhere to go. And at any junction, there's just another problem.
Any specific problem that's bothering you?
Let's see. We have a doomsday device in the hold. We have to figure out what it does. We have a black box where I have no idea what to do with it. I cracked my stupid puzzle box and I can't crack the stupid chip. Can't really go to March either. Cause the bloody princess lost her bloody mind. So, yeah. Anything I come up with, the universe seems to be out to spite me. I feel spited. Thwarted, even.
Kind of sounds like that puzzle box. Really, what's gotten upset moment. I mean, yeah, we have a doomsday device. At least it's not active and it's sealed away. At least for sealed away for the general crew.
Colleen points to the doomsday device on the other table. Because that's where it is right now.
Whoops.
But whoops, this is not an inhabited system. Who's been measuring and tinkering? Also, it's heavy to roll around the entire time. Yeah, it just feels...
Any progress on shutting that thing off? Taking it apart?
No, I have to figure out how to calibrate it.
Calibrate.
Yep, if you don't calibrate it, everything goes away. Just not sure about the radius. Work in progress.
I am sorry that I asked even to have that thing put together. I'll be honest with you.
No, that's a good move. I have a feeling that thing can do amazing things. Once it's calibrated. But once I know where it points. But yeah, work in progress. It's all just a work in progress. Then you hit a wall. Stupid walls.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I feel that way frequently. This has not been easy for any of us. And sometimes I feel just as frustrated as you do. I want to remember, but I don't want to remember.
Well,
Like, I wish we could... I wish I could wave a magic wand, leave us the way that we are, but still remember who friends are, who enemies are, safe places to go. Other than back to Mona. Which, I mean, they're good allies to have. But once we get that gun functioning, I'm gonna have to let them know that we have it before we're allowed to land on the planet again.
Well, maybe promise not to shoot them?
I did kind of make a deal with God, what's his name?
Radulon.
Yes.
Radulon, thank you. Raduan. That, basically safe haven in return for we assist them if they need it. Part of that is getting that gun functioning. Can we make the creepy space music just a little less loud? Is there a way that I can do that?
Yes.
Because sometimes
Yeah, you
it
should
gets...
be able
there
to.
we go. There we go.
Yes, you can.
Every once in a while, it just gets really loud. I don't mind the creepy space music, but every once in a while, it gets disruptively loud because it does. And I don't mind helping them. They've been a help to us, and we do have that as a safe haven.
Yeah, safe as it gets with creepy cult.
I think they're protected.
Well, the biggest problem is still, and that's the biggest difference. According to our records, you are a very terrible, terrible person, Captain. Very terrible.
I know, but I don't want to be a very terrible person.
That's fine. But according to my records, I was as terrible, and I really want to know how the hell I ended up here. And why the hell would I kill an old man?
Maybe he tried to do something.
Maybe, but don't know. Besides, that's from killing an old man in whatever circumstances to hanging out with a bunch of mass murderers. Seems to be extreme, even by my standards.
Unless we
I think you broke up there, Emma.
No, it's not picking up what you were saying.
Yeah, I think I adjusted my mic down to the point where I literally have to eat my mic.
Yeah, no eating mics, please. I'm not nearly meaty
Mike.
enough anymore.
Say, Mike doesn't like to be eaten.
Is this any better?
Seems fine.
We'll let you know if you drop out.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to cancel the echo on one hand and not have to, have the mic stuffed in my mouth for you to be able to hear me on the other.
Yes, it's hard for Mike to hear anything when he's stuffed in someone's mouth.
He's not my mic.
just please don't chew.
No, you never use teeth. It's just mean. Anyway.
So, back to the conversation.
Back to the game. What Cap was saying to Colleen was, maybe this was the safest place for you to be, is in a ship that I don't think a lot of people want to mess with when we have our guns functional. And we needed somebody with your skills.
Well,
as terrible as that sounds, but
you'd be lost in space without me.
Whatever happened to us, I mean, we took you on, and you were part of my crew now for, whatever it is, for better or for worse, Colleen, you are with us, and I will do my best to take care of you and help you however I can. No, I'm not good at the kinds of things you're good at. I probably can't help you with that puzzle box.
I cracked the puzzle box. I passed that.
The puzzle inside the puzzle.
Basically feeling better, even I can't crack that thing. Whoever these little chips might be, I have ideas.
Well, if we don't need them to get the ship functional.
Well, we can repurpose them afterwards. But they might just be what I need.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Well, we might want to do that sooner than later. Because as far as I can tell, I have files on all of us.
Colleen, sorry, Nick, they are quite large files.
But yeah. Turns out it contains some important stuff, but she doesn't know what it is yet. But we'll find out.
Well, if you can, if we need the tech for the ship, then you can use the ship to process what you need.
Well, that's why I'm looking into these chips. I have to look into that black box.
But getting the ship functional is our first priority. Or should be.
Well, those things are not going to do anything for the weapon, so that's fine.
Didn't we have other systems that needed that kind of thing, though? This is an out-of-character question.
Let's take a look.
It's not just the guns that were down.
No, it's not just the guns that are down. You've got a couple of things that still need. That's weird. Why does that say components?
Is it in our player notes what we need?
Ship
what
status.
we think we need?
Here, I'll just throw it out here to you.
Thank you.
So, engine optimization needs 2. Yes, there's 2. Engine optimization is a mod that needs 2.
Would these be applicable to that?
They probably could be applied to that, yes. I would probably let you get away with applying at least 1 or 2 of them to the metaspatial hypercharge cannon. It does need 10 after all, so those are highly unlikely to all be energy conversion.
Well, considering the name of it, it probably does need some sort of computer control system for whatever the fuck it does.
Yeah,
Yes.
we don't know what that does.
Yep.
It spatials the meta and then it hypercharges it.
I assume, I bet that personal theory, the metaspatial hypercharge cannon can rip holes in metaspace.
Let me go look at my notes. Maybe. The specialized
Maybe.
specialized mounting is that is probably going to be materials. Although I'll let you guys make an argument for other. Basically, specialized mounting is something that makes your spike drive easier to be smaller. Yes, I realize that comes out all kinds of awkwards, but your spike drive is taking up less mass and power than it should, and that's due to the specialized mounting. Now, the specialized mounting is in kaputs right now, but that's why it's limiting where your spike drive can be. To get that back up, materials, perhaps energy, something, some variable mod will work in that.
Well, we've got the advantage of the one pre-Mike figuring out what the hell he was doing pre-tech, the universal component.
Yes, and I might throw more universal components in there just as, hey, here's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a thing to make things a little bit less complicated.
Right. So we've got a total of 5 pre-tech at this point. And we only needed 2 to get the gun up and running, or at least 1 gun up and running.
Yeah, I would like to use a down day to get one of those guns up and running. But I know Colleen probably is like, "Oh, here's this data thing that I need." But to some degree, Cap's gonna say, "Yeah, but we need that more."
Well,
for the ship.
That specialized mounting would definitely help us out a ton. Gives us another bump on our spike distance.
Yeah. We can go, 3 instead of 2?
You'll still have to upgrade the spike drive. It simply allows you to upgrade the spike drive. And that upgrade to drive 2 is right there below spike drive -1.
So we would need a total of 3 components to kick that up.
Mm-hmm.
Kitty. He got fed around 7:30 this morning and is now like, you need to feed me again.
Feed me, asshole. Feed me.
Oh shoot, I just accidentally closed. It was the ship status. Okay, I got it.
Now I'm trying to remember, on ship status, when you've got listed mate, does that mean it needs current maintenance, or?
I'm reserving maint for it will require maintenance once you get it repaired. Those
Okay.
are all mods.
Right. Okay, but maint means that it is currently disabled, but would need also maintenance when it's up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But since it's not currently up, it doesn't currently need maintenance, other than getting it repaired and functional.
Correct.
Okay.
Well.
But Cap will say to Colleen, I know you want to get into the box you've got, or the information you have, but if we don't get some of the things on the ship repaired, it may be a moot point and we'll all be in jail. Or worse, dead. So I don't know which is worse. Well, no, dead is worse.
Yeah, we can always break out of jail.
Maybe. Oh, some of us have, haven't we? Dude didn't he? Or did he just evade arrest?
I believe some of us collectively had broken out of jail.
Yep, dude broke out.
Group.
Yeah. Dude explicitly was a breakout.
Not that he remembers.
No, but that's in the information that we do have. But, feel free to try to, to use the ship systems to do what you need to do, but we're gonna have to use that salvage on the ship.
Well, I promise the lack of information is gonna kill us too, because we don't know who to trust, where to go, and who all is after us.
We have a pretty decent idea, at least some of who is after us.
Well, the torpedoes were an indication.
Yeah, galactic mandate, and they know the new identity of the ship.
So I might
At least we didn't go and register ourselves as the Raza.
Yeah, we're now doubly wanted.
What, you mean at SOS?
No.
Oh, when you first got to Henry
Yeah,
Station.
when
Yeah.
we first got the black box, we didn't just go, well, let's rename ourselves the Raza.
The Next time we do this, we're gonna call it totally not the Raza.
Well,
Just
getting a new black box would be something that we would have to do on the black market, I'm sure.
Well, just let me look into the box we have. Let me look at those chips. See what I might be able to do. Just all incredibly frustrating.
I get that. Now, who knows? Maybe we'll find some more things that we need in this ship. We'll go to the bridge next. And engineering. And see what we can find. I doubt this. Well, hopefully, this isn't the only pre-tech salvage we get from this ship.
Oh, who knows? But if maybe you could find me a nice planet where we can make a lot of money and buy a lot of things, that would help. Need some things.
Yeah, well, that might be harder to do than I would like. I'm not keen on the idea of getting involved in a war either.
Maybe we can just find a nice place to rob?
I'm not really keen on breaking the law either.
Well, that's where the main problem is. Anything legitimate is pretty much out of our reach, because the second they use genetic scans, we're screwed. So legitimate places and jobs are just kinda a real problem.
I wonder if we're ever able to fake genetic IDs. If that's even possible.
I mean, there are ways of doing it. You just need to get me a lot of stuff.
It's mostly Maltech.
Set lots of stuff.
Oh yeah, it is doable.
It's not legitimately.
That, and I believe there's cyberware that does it too.
I wonder if Cap's nanites can rewrite her genetic.
Get Colleen more stuff and she can find out.
That'd be friggin' amazing.
Why she wants more stuff.
Holy crap! I wonder if you can pick up like physical morph functions. That'd be badass if you could change your face.
Probably hurt like hell though.
I'm sure it would be fucking cool. And really useful.
Yes, body sculpting can actually go down all the way down to the DNA level. It's only 100,000 credits. It's actually cheap for what it's
Colleen
doing.
can
Because
afford
they
it.
say,
Yeah.
you can totally afford that.
But it is also permanent system strain.
Oof.
Even for somebody like Cap?
If the
Who knows?
nanites even allow it.
Oh.
Well, I was thinking of recoding the nanites and working with them to make the nanites be able to do it.
Well, that's why Colleen wants stuff, because when she was trying to analyze the nanites, it was like, you need more know-how and more equipment. Colleen is way ahead of all of you.
Oh, that would be OP.
Well, I mean, we've got an android who can change his face, so it's not like it's super out of the realm of what our party can already do.
Did he even ever get his stuff?
Oh.
His medical stuff that he was buying? Well,
I don't know. You'd have to ask Mike about that.
I believe so. You actually... I can't even remember what planet that was on anymore, Mel.
Wasn't it on Mona?
Yeah, that transaction went through in full.
Okay, I'll make a note of that then.
I think you were going to... Yes, you had on your list that you were going to look around SOS for other designs.
I did.
And then plot happened. Well, Colleen happened.
As she
Colleen
usually
always
does.
happens.
Yes, it's usually best if Colleen happens to other people on your behalf.
Only in some cases.
Yeah, I think when you guys were on SOS, Mel, Nemo got more focused on the information that he was seeking and didn't actually ever go to, as you put it, check the local markets, legal and otherwise, for useful genetic raw material and schematics, both normal and exotic if available.
Okay.
Yeah, I do still have that, and I also have an answer for it, but you guys never did it.
Oh, sorry about that, Mel.
Yep. Sorry, man.
I don't think that was any one player's fault. It was just, well,
Things happened.
yep. Where were you guys? You were talking about getting more, basically, gear, more high-tech equipment.
But we have to go to a relatively inhabited planet for that.
High-tech and well-inhabited, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Mona does not qualify.
They don't have the
Unfortunate.
stuff.
They
Or
have
so
a
they
they
say.
have a lot of stuff, but
They don't have the medical equipment.
they weren't. Well, if they did, they weren't willing to part with it yet.
They didn't have the brain medical equipment. They were able to locate the nanites, though.
Yeah. Just not do anything about them.
Right.
Or with them. Basically, they were able to tell Kat that she is filled with illegal technology.
Yes, indeed.
And kind enough not to cause any trouble over it.
Is anybody else doing anything before bedding down for the night?
Just Cat. The last thing Cap will say is, just don't use the tech before coming and talking to me, telling me what you want to do with it. Is that fair?
Okay.
Okay. I'm not saying no. But I need to know what your plans are before you use them.
That's fine. Just need plan first. I'm thinking.
Okay. I think that's like I said, I'm not saying no, just let's talk about it before you use them.
That's fine.
Okay.
Would Dude have known about Nemo looking for genetic material and stuff?
Mel, would Nemo have told him?
I can't imagine why he would.
Okay.
Wasn't Dude there when Nemo was asking about that on Mona, though?
Yeah.
Or was it just him and Cap?
When you were talking to Charles, the exuberant trader.
Yup.
As we're bedding down for the night and whatnot, Dude would actually have sent a quick little. Actually, wait a minute. No. Nemo, there's a knock on whatever Nemo has been using for whatever quarters decides
He's got his
needs.
own room, yeah.
Yeah. Whether he uses it or not, it's up to him. Does he need to sleep?
He does.
Okay.
Downtime.
Well, there's a knock on Nemo's door.
Yes.
Hey, I was gonna send you a message, but then I remembered that Colleen is a snoop. I remember back on Mona that you'd been looking for base genetic materials to, I'm assuming, sort of expand your capabilities of knowledge a bit.
Something like that, yes.
Right. Well, considering the conversation we had earlier, this would be I'd be a little discreet about this because it was an idea I had that popped into my head. I'm not, like I said, I'm, at least at this point in whatever memory person I am, kind of a humanist. Dead's dead. And useful is useful no matter what. I figure if you're still looking for that,
He's got a ship full of literally a ship full of 500,000 dead bodies.
500 million.
Sorry,
500
500 million dead bodies.
If you think you could keep out of Colleen's eyes, I could certainly be willing to run interference at some point if you want to make your way somewhere into the ship out of the way, and there certainly is plenty of gatherable material out there.
Could anything useful be harvested from
Not
several
from living bodies. No, you're
centuries old bodies? No?
not from
I
living.
didn't think so.
Well, not from bodies at all. It's all manufactured.
Ah, okay.
Although it is funny and brings to mind thoughts of Fane's Face Ripper.
Or just Reanimator.
Unfortunately, I've never seen that, but probably yeah. However, that doesn't exclude the possibility of them having such material or the 650-year-old equivalent of it in their own medical supplies.
Yeah,
We totally need to raid the med bay.
So it's highly unlikely that there'd be anything still viable.
It's basically ballistics gel, just more advanced, well preserved. You could have a 600-year-old body.
Well, you never know. They might have, whatever their pre-tech capabilities are, they might have had better preservational techniques for stuff like that in their med bay area, or something that might be able to be fired back up enough to reconstitute something.
Yeah, but without power, you would assume that even the best preservational technology would fail.
Yeah.
But it's been frozen.
But dude doesn't know a lot of that stuff, so that's why he was making the discreet suggestion.
So yeah, to answer your
Sadly,
question, Mel, the human bodies won't work.
sadly, it's unlikely that anything useful could be harvested from the biological materials of the remnants, but I do appreciate your offer. It's unlikely that they would, in their present state, be of any use to anyone.
That's very true.
Save as a oddity or morbid conversation point, I suppose.
Which was kind of my point on why I didn't see it was a big problem taking at least a couple of those things apart, but I can understand. I can empathize with Colleen's thoughts on that.
Seems somewhat illogical to have less reservations about potentially burning a colony of living people, but bother about bothering the ones who have been dead for 7 centuries.
Well, like I said earlier, we ain't exactly creatures alive. It's you'll probably just want to put something like that on your list of shit that doesn't make sense about humans.
Wonder why leaving them in this position would be considered more respectful than removing them from it.
I don't know. I'm willing to bet that there might be a little bit of squeamishness on her part as opposed to any kind of moral considerations about the disposition of dead people. It might be some kind of combination of A and B. Like I said, we don't have to make sense. We're people.
They've been dead for 7 centuries and preserved in an airless vacuum. There's very little organic left to be squeamish about.
Well, that was my thought.
They're not decaying in any significant manner at all.
Which is probably the best for us. Otherwise, we'd have to decontaminate and de-smellify our spacesuits every time we came back into the ship.
But the presence of 500 million corpses, well preserved, is an interesting one.
Yeah, considering how long this place has been here and how we can't possibly, we're obviously not the first people that have ever come through and scavenged this place. It seems amazing that either that ship never got found by anybody or that nobody ever tried to, I don't know, find a more suitable final resting place for all them people.
Not to mention how exactly the ship ended up in that position.
Yeah, there's another weird-ass mystery. Still really curious as to what the hell that stuff is out there that used to eat ships.
Everything in the just out of curiosity, Mike, everything in the ship is also inert, correct?
Yes.
The dust that got okay.
Have we already raided the bridge of of the capital?
No,
ship?
we didn't do that yet.
No.
Yeah, I think we were waiting on that.
Nothing else. It's an interesting enigma, but the sheer amount of people left makes searching the pod systematically a very time-consuming procedure. So it's highly unlikely that going through the pods would produce anything useful.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, I tell you what. While we're going, do you have like a basic bullet point spec rundown of the kind of stuff you're looking for?
I do.
Shoot, as long as you're okay with me knowing about it, shoot that over to me on my pod, and I'll keep an eye out for it while we're doing all of our other salvage work. and I'll let you know if I come across anything that either is that or seems to be an indication of a possibility of a place where some of that stuff might be.
Yeah, of course. No compunction about that. I'm simply looking for useful materials that could further enhance my own capabilities.
Sounds good to me. I just wanted to make sure you weren't getting screwed out of this place just because some people were a little weird about dead people.
You're also weird about living people. So
Oh.
as opposed that weirdness extending to the dead people is somewhat logical as well.
Yeah, well, you ain't wrong about that. All right, man. Well, just wanted to let you know, and like I said, I figured a message would probably get intercepted by Colleen, and then we'd have to have another discussion about that.
I wonder if they could be rendered into. Yeah, I wonder if they could be rendered into viable organic food stuff.
Now, when I said I'm a humanist and that dead is dead, there's the word rendered brings a disturbing image to my mind. So
That was an attempt at a joke. Presumably at best at this point they could be used for low quality fertilizer.
Oh my god. It's a good thing Cap's not there.
Oh
Just
shit,
saying.
man. Yeah, man, you're all right. I think if you're supposed to be an unemotional android killing machine, I think we're having a bad influence on you, but I appreciate it.
I've yet to encounter any sort of influence that could be qualified as uniquely bad.
Right on,
But
man.
it's-
Right on.
But if we come across a few billion square hectares of farmable land, then it's something to keep in mind.
I'll note that down. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna get some rest, and I'll see you back in that ship for more breakdown duty tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And yeah, make sure to send me that list of stuff you're looking for. I'll let you know if I see any.
Will do.
And dude goes back to his cabin.
Okay. Is Colleen? Yes, morbid. Is Colleen beginning any projects or working on anything before she sleeps?
Well, when she has a decent understanding of what the chips do, she would take a look at that black box
Okay.
to basically first assess the damage.
The damage appears to be mostly just corrupted data. It's not going to be difficult to put it back together. There's certainly going to be a lot of data lost, and the largest files, which would also be quite possibly the most useless to you, rudders, would be the most riddled with holes and unsalvageable. But since those rudders would be 600 years old, they're not very useful anyways.
Not for the course, but to get an idea of the systems.
Mm-hmm.
So
For
there's
that,
that.
star maps and metaspace maps that don't actually have rudders attached will be more useful. And those might be salvageable. So really all it is going to be is it's just going to be time consuming to put things back together.
That's fine, but yeah, that's what she would start. She would grab basically a little data storage and grab the processing, well, not power space, but the whole program she wrote to improvise a black box.
Okay.
To basically start sounding that thing out, establish an interface,
Okay.
and then see what responses she get, and then see what she can get out of the black box.
Roll program. With a couple of tweaks to her programming. With a couple of tweaks to her program, she can start pulling out the most. She can have the program start pulling out the most easily salvaged bits and just start putting things back together. As I said,
Right,
it is
and
going to be
then-
time consuming, but it won't actually consume Colleen's time.
No, she would just hook that up, basically let that go overnight as an extract file, save, and go to bed.
Okay.
She also recharges her shirt.
Okay. Her shirt is recharged.
Question, how much longer does she have on the hair?
Oh man. You know what? I have a spreadsheet for that.
Jesus Christ, of course you do.
Well, not specifically for the hair, but I know when she got it. And it will be under SOS.
I will be back momentarily.
Okay. Oh, it's not under SOS, it's just something I put in my notes in game. So player notes.
Yeah, so I have
Okay.
it somewhere.
So the hair lasts 2 months. It is now it's now January 2nd, and you guys did all of that on November 28th. I think Colleen actually did that on the 27th. So it should last until the 27th of this month, approximately.
Okay.
Yeah, I know my spreadsheet is really useful. It'll
Yep,
also
no, it's fine. I have 2 months. I have it written down as well.
cool. Alright. Morning on the starship comes and the crew rises to arbitrarily set human alarms. A audio file has been salvaged from the black box and put together. It is available for Colleen's viewing.
Huh? She likes voices from the past, mostly.
As the entire stream has a moment of, what are we doing?
I believe Colleen is, Nick is reading.
Partaking.
Mhm.
Oh, analyzing from that.
Un momento, por favor.
Yeah. I mean, does that track, can it be related to some of the things that are floating around?
Yeah. Some of the
Okay.
things that are floating around appear to have been chunks of planets. Well, sorry, all of the asteroids are chunks of planets.
Oh yeah, no, I meant in the wake of kind of what's being described in the audio file. That basically that tracks that what he's been describing is what is going on.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right.
And if Colin does share it, then I'll just put it in chat, or you can copy it if you want.
I'm gonna say, is this gonna be one of those another giant piece of useful information that Nick gets that the rest of the party does not?
That never happens, Matt.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it happens all the time, and it's annoying.
No such thing.
Nick, don't be a Sandra.
Oh man.
Listen, sometimes it's better not to know. Isn't that what dude said as well?
Yeah, then he
Wasn't
found
that
out
a sin-
then he found out he wanted to know. We haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet.
Fine. Yes, she. Funny enough, yeah, this is good morning entertainment. She would play it over the intercom for the ship.
Oh dear.
Enjoy.
Does she preface this at all, or does it just start playing over the intercom?
Starts playing.
And yes, it does start with a date.
What in relation to our date? What date is that? I don't remember.
You guys are on January 2nd, 3252.
All right.
So, what exactly is playing?
A man's voice. Just a snippet of it is we navigate the remains of Femno in solemn silence. And it goes on to imagine asteroids as having once been locations on Femno, describing a market, apartments, brothels, various locations. This plays for, unless somebody stops it, this plays for about 30 minutes before the man's voice cracks and goes silent.
No, Cap's gonna stop it.
So the oral image I'm getting in my head is this guy, talking about, well, that looks about the size of where Main City might have been. I see where the stadium might have gone. Basically,
He's being more specific. He is actually saying that he sees building parts.
Gotcha.
Obviously, you'd have to be really close for that, but no, he's not imagining so much.
He's finding bits of this planet.
Although I guess it does kind of suggest that because it says a man's voice goes on to imagine asteroids as having once been locations. But no, he's finding bits of planet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Cap will use the Cap powers.
Cap powers activate.
And shut that down. And then she's gonna go find Colleen.
You're in trouble.
No, she's not in trouble. She's like, okay, no, we're not gonna have the entire crew to listen to that.
Okay, Cap finds Colleen.
Cap will listen to it.
Any data on a planet called Femno anywhere that's available to us?
Nope. Cap and Colleen.
Just out of curiosity, where did you get that from? Is that from the black box?
Yep.
Why did you choose to play it over the loudspeaker?
Because I thought it was interesting.
It is interesting, but I'm not sure that everyone will find it helpful.
I was thinking helpful, I was thinking interesting. I mean, think about it. That's someone talking from pretty much 600 years past. They're still seeing the things he saw.
It's also kind of morbid and depressing. Don't get me wrong, I want to listen to it. But maybe not everybody on the ship would want to.
So they might appreciate it.
I don't know that will help folk. Or, helping us salvage the ship. We'll ask, and anybody who wants to listen to it, they can listen to it. I'd rather give them the option.
Okay. I just thought this was amazing.
It is really interesting, and I want to hear the rest of that broadcast. But we'll give folks the option to listen to it if they want.
Okay.
So Cap will put it on her data slab if she can.
Yeah, it's not large files. These audio clips are almost kind of just incidental to what Colleen's program is doing. Colleen's program is, of course, trying to put everything together, but because these are such small files, being purely audio clips in a sea of absolutely massive files, they finish, and Colleen gets a little notification that a file has been completed and restored. So it is the answer to that is it easily fits on her datapad.
Cool.
So plan for salvage. Are you doing anything specific, or are you just gonna salvage through?
First the bridge and medbay.
Okay. The bridge is a disappointment. The bridge doesn't have anything of particular worth. It looks like it managed to get hit with a deteriorating bit of that space dust.
And it got in.
And it got in. You see vac suits, bodies that probably died pretty quickly because the suits themselves are torn apart, disintegrated. And the bridge wasn't necessarily, it wasn't a nose bridge, but through various tunnels and passageways in the ship, stuff got in here and made a real wreckage of it.
Okay.
Colleen will probably regret this, but did that stuff affect organic material?
Well, it'd be real hard to tell 600 years later, especially when it's been exposed to space, but she can look.
Yeah, she would. I mean, the difference would be seeing how highly aggressive that stuff was going through a hull.
Mm-hmm.
Human bones, tissues shouldn't really step it either. There would be chunks missing and basically be molten.
Okay. So she takes a closer inspection of one of the bodies out here.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Her observation does not match her theory. there are no chunks taken out of the flesh.
So bone structure and everything is intact?
You can clearly see where the dust, where something ate through the spacesuit, mostly on the metal bits, and the deterioration there, and all the metal bits are brittled. But at those junctures where it clearly ate through, the body is just a 600-year-old mummy floating in space.
Okay.
So it ate the metal,
As Emma's voice goes
but
metallic.
not.
Yes,
Um,
I heard you though.
but not the organic material.
It doesn't appear to have eaten the organic material, no. You'd need to take one of these back to facilities for further testing.
We're doing our best to keep that stuff out of the ship.
What?
We could strap a body to the outside of the ship. That won't be creepy at all.
We're not
Reapers.
Reavers.
Yeah, wrong setting.
Is it though?
You guys had that option, and I subtly convinced you to do this one instead.
We're back.
Mm-hmm.
By saying that I really wanted to. Damn. Nick just BRB'd.
Yes, he did.
Oh, another audio track is done. Did Kat tell Colleen to just have them sent to her as well?
Basically.
Okay, we'll just assume that she did. If you want me to read it out, I will. Oh, did I not get the date on that? I did not get the date on that.
The second one?
Yeah. Sorry. Uh, 12.5 years earlier. 13.5 years earlier. Time is weird.
Apparently so. Have we ever heard of terraformance in the Mu Council?
Nope.
Possessed of an entity. So the system is Muron, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Mu Council. System named after that, or them named after the system? Don't know.
Or floating red mystics with really annoying energy draining attacks.
Hey man, the Mu existed before City of Heroes. Well, City of Villains.
Yes, but never in that particular incarnation.
Probably not.
Very interesting.
On to Medbay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will fast track this a little bit so that you guys can skip skip the boring-ish numbers of collection, basically grinding right now. You're grinding money right now. And drops, I guess. And let you do any RP and or move on with the plot. The med bay actually does look like it might have some things that Nemo is looking for. There's clearly equipment that was at one point dedicated to not necessarily cloning, but to body restoration. And the difference between body restoration through cloned flesh and what Nemo does are so minimal that they could essentially be the same thing. In fact, one may have even come from the other. So, whatever material is here, as long as it's still good, is useful to Nemo. There may be even some designs in those computers.
Okay, sounds good.
Take it apart and get it back to the ship.
Take it apart and get it back to the ship.
The next question, is there anything that Colleen finds useful for her purposes on the equipment I have?
Actually, some of the equipment here would be, if it wasn't in a state of disrepair and deterioration.
Well, some of it might be able to be repaired, but that's what she's trying to assess.
Okay.
Some of that equipment is salvageable, that even if it needs to be fixed up, it might just be something that we just don't have, so even fixed it's better than nothing, essentially.
Okay. No rolls right now. Go ahead and just mark that you've set aside the medical equipment found in Tinirriw as not everyday scrap.
At any point while we've been designating areas and finding places to start salvaging and whatnot, have we found anything that looks like it would have been crew quarters?
Yeah, there were some crew quarters near the bridge. There's some crew quarters near the med bay. It's such a huge ship that there is no single, this is where all the crew are.
Right.
It looks like the crew quarters were functionally placed.
Okay. At some point, dude would have wanted to not necessarily break off, but take a chunk of time aside and go into any crew quarters they might find, and go through looking for, interestingly enough, primarily clothing.
Okay.
Um,
There are a lot of red robes. I'm kidding.
You can't see this, but I'm giving you the finger, Mike.
I thought I would at least get a chuckle from Mel, but nothing.
Primarily clothes, but with a look for personal things, but personal things that people would have on them. I'm aiming for, well, dude's been thinking about this for a while, and this ties into where we moved when we leveled up. Dude's thinking about disguises. Dude's thinking about being inconspicuous. Dude is thinking about blending in.
Mm-hmm.
So dude kind of wants to build a set aside a little chunk of our locker room space on the Raza with, all right, here's where we go to get changed into something that is useful for where we happen to be going from a blend in visually standpoint. He kind of wants to make a disguise room.
Okay.
And he wants to see if he can get some raw materials for that out of here. So, would you want me to roll for searching for crap like that?
No, not really.
600-year-old space fashion.
Yeah, no. Not even doesn't even require a roll. You find crew quarters, like I said, in sections. You've got command staff, though they have their own particular individual fashions. And then you've got the people that were near the residences or quarters that were near the med bay, and well, they do also have their own particular fashions. They're more of the pants and button up and tie, with doctor's vest and such. I guess those wouldn't be in their quarters, but it looks like they were doctors.
Yeah.
But there are definitely enough crew on this ship that you guys can reattire yourselves however you want if you're willing to spend the time to look through this stuff that isn't scrap.
Dude would definitely, once he identified these kind of areas, definitely fill Cap in on this, to take her aside at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Cap, bend your ear for a sec.
Of course.
Thank you. Well, I've been doing a bit of thinking and kind of a little bit of systems research and stuff with some of the data we've been getting from places we've been, at least so far, and whatnot. I actually compared notes a couple of times with Nemo. I feel like I got a pretty good beat on being able to help us maybe get around in some of these little civilized-ish systems without having to deal so much with where's your ID, where's your papers, who you are, where are you coming from, how come you don't look like anybody else around here, kind of stuff. And I was wondering if you'd let me take a chunk of time aside to go through. There's a lot of crew quarters on this ship, and there's going to be a lot of personal effects and things like that, and I could certainly use that to get us a nice base of disguises. Basically, we tend to stand out when we make landfall, and I'd kind of like to make us stand out less.
Will make us look more like locals.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much good 600-year-old fashion is going to be, but you never know.
Well, I don't imagine the clothes have really changed that much. We've certainly got. I feel like I could probably do a little bit with needle and thread to manage a few things.
You see more tights. There's a lot more skin tight fashion. You're not limited to that, but you see a lot of it.
So bell bottoms didn't make an unexpected resurgence.
Could be worse. Could have been all fishnets.
Yes, that would paint a very different picture of this 600 years ago future.
So what you're saying, Mike, is lots of leggings, onesies?
Yep.
silver jumpsuits.
Like the Star Trek uniforms from the combination of the original series and Next Gen.
Isn't that actually set around 2600?
Pretty close.
28, isn't it?
I think so.
Well, there we go. Remember, around 2600 is the height of jump gate exploration.
Jesus. Because of course, Space 1999.
Not Space 1999.
Is that not?
That's UFO. That's UFO.
Oh. I found a little online streaming service that just has all the episodes of Thunderbirds to watch.
Wow.
Clearly, they weren't aware of George Lucas' theory about how bras can kill you in space.
They don't.
Anyway,
I know. Yeah.
Cap will say, sure, if you want to, God knows we could always use more clothing.
Well, yeah, that too.
We've got people to,
Yeah, I think I'm getting tired of washing the same 4 T-shirts over and over. But they're comfortable. Yeah. And dude would actually sort of wave over at Nemo. Hey, Nemo. Wanna go disguise hunting?
Of course.
All right. So yeah, we will take a chunk of time and go do that. Like I said, concentrating on clothing. We'll get try to get at least a couple of cargo chests full of a decent variety of stuff. I want to have enough that I could get all of us in the same sort of clothes, or have everybody in something different if we needed to be, depending. But also, absolutely, jewelry, headbands, necklaces, bracelets, anything that will
Gold teeth.
make it.
no goddamn gold teeth.
Not unless we're also getting eye patches. But accessories as well. I want it to look like real people, not just somebody wearing clothes, but something that person that we would that looks like somebody got dressed out of their own personal closet that morning and just walked out onto the street.
Okay.
So yeah. How would you like to note that down?
By leaving it to you.
Do you want that on ship inventory or ship status?
Go ahead and put that in ship inventory. I'm not sure
Okay.
you guys can actually edit ship status.
Cool. Well, if we can't, then I would want disguise room.
You can convert one of the quarters to that.
All right.
Or just use up some space in your workshops.
Mhm.
Huh. Misremembered. Star Trek is actually 2200s and 2300s.
Oh, okay.
When we were talking about that, I remember thinking, it wasn't that far, was it?
Yeah.
Because what was it?
Next generation is 2364.
Okay.
And it's not, and next gen wasn't far enough away from the original series because Bones was still alive at the very beginning of next gen. He was really
ancient.
old. Yeah, he was really really old.
It's got defeated.
And the original series was close enough that their recent history, the Earth Wars that Khan Noonien Singh had been taking part on, happened in the 90s.
Yep. The eugenics wars.
I don't remember those when I was a kid in the 90s, but obviously I missed it. All right. So yeah, I'll make a little notation about the clothing disguises and such. And that's what Dude and Nemo do. Do we find anything really, really neat and
You broke up just at the end there. Really, really neat and what?
cool?
Well, yes. What do you find that's really, really neat and cool?
Asshole.
Guitar parts. Someone's collection of guitars.
that'd be too easy.
At least he's not decorating the guitar with the skulls of the fallen. Like the captain's skull.
Jeez. There's certainly plenty of bodies that we could render down for parts for skulls.
Yes, render those bodies.
Maybe make a lampshade or two.
Maybe a hat.
Oh,
Make
jeez.
hats.
I was thinking more from Dusk Till Dawn,
Oh,
that type of guitar.
Boy, we certainly have a sudden surplus of leather around.
yep.
Hey, it works in RimWorld.
That is RimWorld.
We Mad Max now.
Mm-hmm. The big joke in RimWorld is when you say to someone you're going to make them a hat, it doesn't mean what we think it means. I've still never done that.
Well, I haven't turned anyone into a hat.
Human leather is just terrible stats anyways. Anyways,
Oh, we got another thing.
you got another audio file.
I wondered where I heard the boink.
Mm-hmm. And did you also see your haul there, Nemo?
Yeah, I'm noting it down on my character sheet now.
Perfect.
And Shekul has no life, does it?
You guys haven't really gotten close enough to Shekul to scan or
Take
do
a
anything.
look.
Yeah.
Those basic designs split 50-50, male-female, or my choice?
Split.
Figured as much.
Yeah. Basic designs are really supposed to be very easy for you to get. It's only supposed to be a difficulty 6 search, or 8 if it's a location that wouldn't really have that. And they're free, so I'm not really giving you anything with that.
Right.
Except something to use until you can actually get somewhere else to do those searches. Yeah, once you're able to search for them, you can get pretty much any basic design that you want. And basic designs are just basic. They're not muscular, they're not rail thin, they're just average human. And the exotic design, I leave that to however you want to describe. As
Okay.
long as it's exotic in the sense of exotic human.
Right.
You know, nothing like claws or anything else that exotic could have. That would just be the exotic design would be a top class model or a bodybuilder.
Right.
You spent another day?
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Are we running with a. At that point in human history, had they moved to the inevitable nightmare scenario of complete digital distribution of everything, or did they have? Were there any vinyl collectors or CD collectors amongst the crew of this ship? Was
You
there
are not.
anybody who collected archaic music, physical storage?
You have not seen any archaic musical physical storage.
Damn. So no music in my hall of stuff.
In truth, the stuff that you're finding, it's not eccentric. It's not like these people were packing to go on holiday. You're finding plenty of different sets of clothes because people have to wear clothes even if they're
Oh, yeah.
fleeing from planet-destroying disaster.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're not seeing a whole lot of luxury stuff along the
Personal
way.
effects, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are some that got taken.
Because
And
people grab their personal shit even if they're evacuating.
I will go back to my desk and grab my phone if the building that I work at is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where I play my games.
Oh yeah. They're the people that were just fleeing from the Paradise Fire. You saw pictures of people standing on the road with arms full of things they had grabbed.
Why isn't your phone in your pocket, Mike?
Occasionally I take it out and put it on my desk. The only time I actually walk away from my desk with it still there is if it's charging or if I've got something playing in YouTube, just because it's kind of a pain in the ass to get it playing back again. It's difficult to listen to music from YouTube at work. I don't watch it, but because YouTube does not let itself play if it's not right there on the screen.
Fair enough.
I haven't had to do that nearly as much since I got this new phone that never needs to be charged except for when I get home. It's beautiful.
Gigantic goddamn battery on that thing.
Yes. 4,000, whatever those mean. It's got 4,000 of them. That's another day.
Cool. We got clothes.
You got close.
And
stuff.
some more salvage.
And more salvage. Depending on how you have your alerts set up, you are woken up during the night by more audio files, or you wake up to more audio files.
We'll wake up to more audio files.
Okay.
Jesus.
Oh. Well, that's something.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, those are the audio files that you wake up to.
Ugh.
Did we accidentally blunder into Event Horizon?
Any date on that last one?
Did I? Dang it! I did not get the. It's the starting. The second set of parentheses that's throwing me off. I just start copying from the parentheses or the the brackets. Yes, there's a date on that one. The
Interesting.
speaker is the same voice each time, although younger for the older files.
So that last one, he sounds like he might be drunk.
Oh yeah.
It's the same voice on all of them?
Mm-hmm.
But one of them is 14 years older than than the others.
Mm-hmm. A couple of them are 14 years older.
Right, yeah.
Some kind of engine wasn't ready.
Also, the fact that the ship has been in operation for a period of over 14 years clashes completely with the time it would take to actually evacuate the system.
Well, it sounded like something happened to Fenno, and they were on a different planet. I wonder if they were trying to terraform or something. And whatever those entities are, is anybody having bad dreams?
I don't dream,
I
Captain.
don't know. DM, is anybody having bad dreams? Or
Um,
is dude having bad dreams?
I'm gonna turn that question back to you guys. Are any of your characters having bad dreams from all of this? As DM, I'm not imposing any, so that's technically the answer to your question. I'm not imposing them. Your characters may certainly be having bad dreams.
Hmm. I don't know. I wonder what those entities are, because it sounds like they might be psychic creatures or... I don't know.
Maybe they were experimenting with something.
Just clarify for me, Mike. Shakul is the one planet that's still intact, right?
It is.
Perhaps taking a closer look at Shakul itself might illuminate some of this mystery.
I don't know how much we want to get involved with. Get our shit and go, because we are talking about something that literally destroyed an entire planetary system.
Well, almost completely destroyed it.
Well, yeah. A little outside of our wheelhouse.
But it's been 600 years. And just may not even. I mean, the dust is inert. And we don't think that anything can reactivate it. Oh, the stupid time change. I'm getting sun in my eyes.
Yeah, it does tend to mess with things.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
definitely not a problem for me here.
That is why I keep a black towel on my desk.
I just lowered the blind.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get our stuff. And I mean, I kind of want to swing by the planet just to get some scans.
Yeah.
But
Considering the scope of the mystery here, it's likely to be worth pursuing. Nothing else than for the intellectual curiosity of it.
Oh man, I mean, you ain't wrong. This is some heavy duty shit.
there's part of me that just wants to. Let's finish salvaging our shit. Salvaging the ship. And get out. Next place we're gonna go is engineering.
Yeah. Remember how I said that you know, it's just a bunch of dead flesh and it ain't too big of a deal, and it ain't really, you know,
Starting to
cares?
be
Yeah.
different.
This is getting a little creepy, especially when we start talking about entities and shit. So
Yeah, but we don't know what those are.
it's very true.
But yes, that is kind of creepy.
And we have been here for more than a couple of days now, and nothing being weird ass has happened. So you know.
That doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Oh yeah. No, let's yeah.
Okay. The other likely places of pre-tech are weapons, or pre-tech components that do special things. Are weapons, which you can see are just kind of standardized weapons. They wouldn't necessarily have anything special about them. And engines, which took a lot of damage from the dust. Very, very deteriorated. And fortunately appears to have activated failsafes so that, you know, although whatever energy powers the drives didn't just blow up the ship.
Fortunately for us.
Yes.
Because then we'd have been salvaging much tinier bits from all over the place.
Yep.
Or nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, you are just telling me how much time you spend out here at 30,000 scrap a day. On your third day, there are 2 more audio files and I'm getting the dates on these this time. And on this third day, you also find one of the quarters near the bridge. Looks like the quarters of the command staff, but not the quarters of a high-ranking command staff. It looks like somebody was just holding a handheld microphone, and was not wearing a suit. You can kind of see trappings that suggest this is where things were being recorded from during this particular recording. And this is one of the rooms, one of many of the rooms that just decompressed.
So he died fast.
No, space death isn't as fast as it should be.
It's just suffocation, but cold. And that doesn't necessarily kill you quick.
Yeah. You lose consciousness decently quickly.
Yeah.
You'll die faster if you hold your breath.
Yeah. You will.
Explosive decompression.
Yep. And that.
So we are playing Event Horizon. Good to know.
Yep.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Black.
Have we examined the carrier base yet?
No.
Maybe we should go there.
There are
What
actually.
do the numbers sound like? Like, is it?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't. I was just gonna say, what do the numbers sound like? Like, is it some kind of code? Is it coordinates?
Binary?
Well, it's all 10 digital digits.
Base
So
10.
not binary.
No, not binary.
Not hex.
You'd have to analyze it. It doesn't necessarily sound like anything other than just numbers.
Perfectly willing to bet that Colleen had already piped it into an analysis program, but...
It is a 10-minute long string of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like he's saying, one every few seconds.
Yeah.
You did go to where the carriers are. Probably not surprisingly, the carrier bays don't have any ships in them.
Ah.
Those would, if anything, be the ships that are, or some of the ships that are outside. And you do come to one of the carrier bays that has "the black ships are coming" written all over the walls in places that aren't humanly possible to reach, except for with a ladder, of course. As you're looking at it more closely, it also doesn't really look like it was written with, magic marker or permanent marker. Not even
Written
paint.
in blood.
Not written in blood either. Somebody give me a relevant roll for trying to determine what would make those kinds of markings.
Heal.
Oh, what was
No.
that?
And heal.
Heal.
Nope, heal will not do it.
No?
No is certainly a good catch-all.
Well, that works. Colleen usually wants to know.
Pressure, friction. This was pressed into the walls of the carrier bay with some combination of pressure and friction such that it didn't just create a dent in them, but actually left marks. You can't tell what kind of material was used for that because there are no traces of it.
Hmm.
And she couldn't think of a tool that might be able to accomplish that sort of pattern.
The closest that could come to mind is telekinetic force. Also, during your third day here, which is when these are coming out, your excuse me. I'm dying over here. Your active space dust warning triggers.
Oop, let's get out.
Yeah.
Where's it triggering?
Yep.
It's really far away. You're not in any danger right now. But it looks like
Where
it's...
is it coming from?
Man, I cannot talk. Thousands and thousands and thousands of kilometers away.
So in system, not in the ship. Okay.
In system, not in the ship.
Where? What direction is it coming from?
Space has no direction, Emma.
Uh,
I'm getting to that for you. I will actually answer that, but it's kind of hard to say. Well, it's coming from up.
well, no, like I mean,
X,
like,
Y,
is it-
Z coordinates.
I know
Yeah.
what you're saying. I'm just teasing. The planet Shakul, traveling along its orbital path, appears to have gotten within range of your sensors. And
it's coming from Shakul.
It's coming from Shakul.
Is it moving?
All right, so we're not going there.
That doesn't sound like a terrible thing to decide at all.
I mean, at the current rate of movement, is it going to intersect with us? Or...
No.
Okay.
You guys are well out of the orbital path anyways. It doesn't look like Shakul has a very long orbital period. But it's even so, it's so far away from you. and if it were depositing any of this dust in your direction, then you'd probably have seen more of it. Basically, everything that all the data you have says that it's not a risk where you guys are at.
Okay.
Good to know.
All right.
Still worrying.
So Emma, you're definitely out next week, right?
95% chance.
Okay. Give me an idea what direction you want to go, so that I can properly decide for Cap.
I would like to, as long as none of this shit is getting near us, we'll finish enough salvage for a couple, do a couple more days of salvaging and then GTFO.
Okay.
Mike, it's possible that I might also be out next week, depending. I have a promise to help a friend move in the weekend, but I don't know if he wants to move on Saturday or Sunday yet.
God damn it, Mel! Stop having friends. Okay.
Well, this friend helped me move, so
That's what friends are for.
Friends are there to help you, not you to help them. Jesus Christ.
And if you like to keep them, then it is generally considered wise to reciprocate that gesture.
No, you just get new friends when you have to move again. It's worked for me.
Really?
No, it hasn't. I've had to pay people. Or just spend the hours and hours and hours. Oh god, I hate moving. Yeah, I know, Gate. Moving sucks.
Yep.
Okay. So, well, you guys should have planned this better and gotten all of this done on our bye week.
Well, again, I'm not the one moving.
Yeah.
But you're enabling.
With
But, I can try to find out as quickly as possible if it's going to be Sunday or Saturday.
yeah, please do. With 2 out, I do feel that we're. I would like some more players. And I do feel that we're low enough that I should be a little bit more proactive in looking for. It's just more difficult because of the way it's set up.
Oh, I bet.
I really want permanent players to be part of the the memory loss crew.
Right. Because no TV show has ever brought in new character this season.
Oh, they certainly have, but that's what the NPCs are.
Yeah, that's true.
I also I don't tend to like
the role of blank is now played by.
Yeah. I also don't tend to like the new character joins a party situation. It's almost always awkward. Yeah. Sorry, Gate.
That's how it is in real life too.
Well, yes. The
Well,
new friend.
It is, but in real life, you don't have to pick up this person just because they happen to be a new character. There's no, like, you guys have picked up these NPCs because you have wanted to. A new player making a completely original character would be somebody that your characters don't know, that they've got no reason to want on the ship, no reason to trust, and it essentially creates either an entire session to build that trust outside of the plot, or creates just some kind of disharmony between what the characters should be thinking about the new characters and what the players are making the characters think about the new character.
Right. You seem trustworthy. Would you like to travel with us?
Yes. Yeah. I don't tend to like that. I know it's unavoidable, but I don't tend to like it.
See, you have a unique name over your head. You must be a potential NPC. You must be a potential companion.
And now, of course, I've got too many cooks in my head.
Let's see. What are we looking at? Villager. Frederick. Hey, you.
You must be relevant somehow. Oh look, you have a portrait and a voice. You're
Yeah.
clearly a potential companion.
How can we tell? How were you able to tell what was what drawer you could open in that chest? It was the one that was painted slightly different.
Yeah. Emma, so
Yes.
salvage for a couple more days, and
As long as the dust isn't getting close.
it's not. In fact, I'll end the session here with asking how many more days do you salvage? Shakur
And we get-
continues on its orbital approach, and it's just orbiting. You can even see what its orbit is because it has a clear path through the asteroid belt.
I mean, from the engineering deck, I'd say it'd be really nice to have at least another 300,000 worth of scrap. So 10 days total.
That would be 300,000 more.
Okay. And then if we get any pre-tech from there, great.
Other than the two we've already gotten.
Other than the two we've already gotten, yes.
Mhm. And then after that, what direction?
Go to the space station, refuel, and can I get a map?
I was gonna say, can we take a look
yes,
at
you
the
certainly
system
can.
map again? Yay! Less creepy space
Yeah.
music. Wait, never mind.
Different creepy space music.
Well, Pana is the one with the shipyards.
Which one?
Pana.
Panna.
Panna. Okay.
And we bypassed gun, right?
You did.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
seeing the
that's right.
card for the planets that we got. There we go. Never mind, found it.
Yeah. You've got different categories for systems and planets. Planets are, you'll get a card for planets, once you've actually been there and investigated and been around enough. You don't have one for Monas.
Oh yeah, Galactic Mandate.
Yeah. That seems more high tech. The gun was there's a lot of shit going on in that system, and we thought that might be a place to go back to try salvaging other stuff. Although we did say we wanted to go back for grits.
You did say you wanted to go back for grits.
Just limited starship maintenance facilities.
Yeah.
That might be enough. DM?
For what are you trying to accomplish?
Doing some ship maintenance.
Not the full-on maintenance.
Right, but would we be able to finalize the cannon pairs?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you
with what
can.
Gorman has. With the information we got, is Astos run by Galactic Mandate, or is it an independent planet that Galactic Mandate just has a large presence on? Because it seems like they've got a lot of major presences there.
The Galactic Mandate is simply called out because it's not what you could consider a corporation so much. Perimeter Agency, the same thing. All the corporations are represented at Astos.
Okay, so Astos is a little like LA or New York. It's not run by any one place, everybody just has a place there.
That seems most likely.
Okay. With how he feels about his own abilities at this point. Does Dude feel his Wanderer get us around and get maybe basic papers? Does he feel confident he could pull that off on Astos, or does he think that might be a bit beyond his capabilities?
I will tell you that mechanically, I'm not going to deny that to you. How Dude feels about that is up to you.
Okay.
So, concern for me is that
Hang on, Emma. Let me clarify my answer just real quick. Astos is essentially the kind of planet that was designed for those types of foci.
Okay.
It's not the backwater barbarian world where that focus is not going to be useful. It is very civilized, very much specifically for the type of place where that's useful.
Gotcha, but it's not high tech enough where we get the genetic scans fucking everywhere. It becomes useless.
Well, that might still be an issue.
Okay.
Emma, sorry about that.
I was gonna say, yeah. I don't think that it will. Our black box is a problem
Absolutely.
because when they get, the Santa Clarita,
Mm-hmm.
assuming that there has been galactic mandate transmit of the fact that, we're on the Santa Clarita.
Yeah. And we really
Doesn't
got to
matter what kind of papers we have.
Yeah, because it's the ship that's the major problem.
Yep.
Yeah. Grits it is then.
I mean, at least for the moment. If we can get that cannon fixed, then at least, we have some hope of actually, being able to fight.
Well, that sounds good to me. Anybody else got a peanut gallery input?
Nope.
Nope.
I was gonna say Miss Snoopy.
Oh, there are plans.
Plans within plans within.
So that's kind of where I'm at with things. Let's see what kind of maintenance we can do.
And I take it back. Gorman does have the types of shipyard facilities that would just be general 6-month maintenance. I got beneath myself there when I said limited maintenance. What I think I mean is no retrofitting of ships.
Gotcha.
But you're just doing the 6-month maintenance or getting ahead of the 6-month maintenance, you can go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Now, 6-month maintenance is more a matter of credits than scrap that you have.
Yeah. We don't actually have enough to do that, do we?
You can do it in chunks. You can do as much as you can.
Well, what does everybody have in the piggy bank?
There it is. Okay. We are at 12 o'clock, so I'll let us figure out how much maintenance you can get done next week. And look, I didn't end on a cliffhanger, Emma.
Only
Right?
slightly.
Right? This is totally not a cliffhanger, right?
Right.
Let's see how much maintenance you can get done. Dun dun dun.
It would have been a cliffhanger if we had been headed for the planet.
Yes, yes, it would.
Yes. Well, we would have detected that stuff and then GTFO.
Hopefully.
Don't mean to alarm anyone, but the ship is falling apart. Just what you want to know.
I will say, if it affects your decision at all, I should have said this earlier. The sensor calibration that you did is good enough. Actually, it was very good. And is so good that you were able to get very specific. None of the dust is actually leaving the atmosphere of that planet. In addition, where the planet shows, let me bring this up, Muron. I think you've already got this on the screen, but if not, that whole ochre at night, gray by day, that actually has some bearing on the dust. The planet's surface appears to be the ochre part because all of the traces of, hey, we found this horrifically disabling dust, is where the planet is gray.
Huh.
Like I said, I don't know if that changes any perception of the planet.
No, we're still not going there.
All right, I will see you folks next week. Well, some of you.
Right.